What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning into another video, man. We're going to be doing another question and answer, a whole bunch of questions in the comment section, so feel free to ask any questions below and I'll probably eventually get to it. And make sure to smash that like button as well as to subscribe. Alright, man, so first question. Elite3000 asks how to use free presets. Alright, so for those who don't know, in some of my older videos and sometimes with the new ones, you gotta kind of look out for it. It's kind of like an Easter egg. I will leave some free presets in the description box. Usually you can download them via Mediafire. So what I usually do, and I've been doing this all these years, is I will grab individual presets from the full FLP, which you can then apply to your own session. So sometimes there will be EQ, sometimes there will be, compressor presets for your vocals. There might be an EQ for the beat or something like that. So usually they will have, it'll say, for example, fully parametric EQ2, and then it'll say beat. Then you can actually drag and drop that file onto your mixer insert slot, and then you will be able to use it. So from there on out you can save it. So for example, if it's a fully parametric EQ2 preset, you can go and right click and save. So next question, OPS Doodle says, I can't even get auto tune on FL Studio. So for those who don't actually know, hopefully you do know by now, that FL Studio actually does have a pitch correction software, and it is called Pitcher. So you can go and find it. It is by default in every version of FL Studio from what I understand, and it will give you that auto tune effect. Now, is it as good as Antre's auto tune? It doesn't have to be, alright? If you can learn how to sing into it, it'll sound good regardless. So there you go. Bloody Assassin asks, damn, I wish I had half the knowledge you do. You make it look so easy. I've put in so many hours producing and just can't get the right sound. Gets discouraging after so long. Greetings from PA, bro. Love your channel. Hey man, we all go through that exact same train of thought. As you get better, you begin to question if you're good or not, and that means that you're making progress, because it obviously means that you have a vision in your head of where you want to go and you're not yet there. That's the most important part of it. I go through it, all the pros go through it. If you've ever listened to Dave Pensado from Pensado's Place, even he says, man, I don't know if the mix sounds great. Some days we win, some days we don't. That's kind of the thing about mixing is, sometimes we get that 3 point, the throw, whatever you call it in basketball. But point being, man, is that every day you get to it, you mix, and time after time you get better. So even if you completely fail at a mix, which I do, I do about a couple mixes a week, and some sound great, some sound better, some sound amazing. The point is that every mix will teach you a lesson. You know what I mean? So maybe you think, wow, that EQ sounds cool, and then 3 weeks later you're applying that same technique to your new mix, and it was that kind of thing that made the mix stand out. So hopefully you get what I'm saying, is that just keep pushing, keep mixing, and over time, even you may think to yourself, man, it's not good enough, but your clients are happy, the artist you might be mixing for is happy, and you just want to keep progressing, and that's really what this game is about. You can never truly get the best at it. You just got to keep getting better as time goes on. So hopefully that's a motivation for you. Young and 1K asks, Farai, much props, started mixing and mastering, learning music 8 months ago, and you really have some great skills, man. Oh man, you see, these are the best comments I like to see, when people actually watch the videos, tune in, watch some more videos, and then go and apply those skills and can see a difference from when they started to where they are now. There's nothing better than that, because this is what this game is about. I always tell people, even if you don't end up making a career in sound or as a rap artist or singer-songwriter, apply the same skills in the real world. So for example, you mix and master and you get better, you can apply those same skills in the corporate world. You can apply it to business. Okay, cool, maybe today I only did 2 sales, but if I work harder at it, I can make 5 sales. It's that drive that is the best thing about mixing, in my opinion, because every mix is different, just like how every situation in life is different. You know what I mean? You keep getting better at it. So everyone out there, keep mixing. 7 AM Thugger says, when I buy your presets, they always run slow on my FL. Why is that? Alright, that is a good question. So pretty much the way I leave the FLPs when you purchase and download them, you will open up the session and every plugin will be enabled. Now I do that just because some people's computers are good, some others aren't, but I like leaving everything there so you can go and figure out how to turn everything off. I think that is a great skill to learn. But when you are recording, if you're dragging stuff in and then mixing, it's completely fine to do that. What you want to do is you want to go to audio settings and then turn up your buffer length so that it's sitting at 1000, I think, and 24 samples, and that's going to give your CPU time to process all of the audio. But if you're recording, what you want to do is you want to disable every plugin that you're not using, right? So maybe just keep the main vocal chain running, and maybe the reverb sends or something like that, but turn off the mastering stuff, turn off the background vocal stuff, and then set your buffer length in audio settings to 256 samples is a good start. I run at 32 now. You can run at 128. It doesn't matter, whatever your computer can handle. But point is that if your computer may be lacking in CPU power, you can disable plugins and then run at lower latencies. But if you're running a full session, 1024 samples should work, but you can't record at that buffer length. So, you know, you have to go watch a full video and it's a bit complicated to explain, but yeah, man. Official Dagnino says, rest in peace, Juice WRLD. Yeah, rest in peace, Juice WRLD, for real, man. You know, it's just weird at this point of how, you know, how many artists we've lost. I mean, we lost Lil Peep, we lost X, we lost Juice WRLD now. It's just like, it's mind-boggling to see so many great artists pass so young. You know, I think it's further proof that, like, our generation, man, it's just like there's high expectations because of the internet. For example, I mean, like, you know, we can look at X or Juice WRLD or Peep blowing up off SoundCloud, you know, and suddenly they at the highest level of the music industry that you can be at, you know, and there's a lot of pressure at the top, I would think. I mean, you know, Juice WRLD passed on the airplane going somewhere probably to do business, you know. I mean, that's what, like, you know, a 60-year-old business CEO would be doing, you know what I mean? You would think that's how one of those guys would go, but it is a stressful world, man, and you know, really sucks to see someone so good pass so young. He left us with like so much music, so at least, you know, we can listen to that, man. I mean, shout out to the punk wave. And damn, man, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just that if you're young out there, man, just, you know, keep it cool every day. You know, take time to relax, to walk outside, and to realize that a lot of stress in life is kind of up here. You know what I mean? So if you keep a cool head through life, you can make good decisions, and you know, just keep pushing. But, you know, RIP Juice WRLD, man. Produced by Dexy Beats, I would think. Can you make videos on Pro Tools? You can't leave us out on the Pro Tools side, not for making beats, but mixing and mastering on Pro Tools. Yeah, okay, so I don't know why I did it, man. I was paying for my Pro Tools subscription and then I killed it off, and I didn't end up making any content. So next year, January, can't promise anything, but I will try and get a session in on Pro Tools and then run you through a session on how I do things, you know what I mean? So hopefully stay tuned for that, man. Rockstar Villain says, does this help if I find the beat from YouTube and try to mix it down, because I'm an artist and I got one beat from YouTube and it seems like the beat is overmastered to the point where there's no headroom? Okay, this is a screenshot, so I can't read anymore, but I hear what you're saying, man. And yes, it's very difficult to remix beats that have been absolutely brick wall limited. Brick wall limited means it's been like turned up in the gain on the master channel to the point where it just sounds like one big sound, and it's very difficult to remix beats like that because you would need the stems of the beat and you would need to drop everything in level. Now, what I can say you can do is you can start off by adding a parametric equalizer, adding your beat to a track, and then pulling the gain down. You can use any plugin to pull the gain down, for example a compressor with no settings other than the gain going down. Drop it by 10 dB, and then what you can start doing is lifting up certain sections of the song. So for example, you might boost the treble if you want a bit more hi-hat, and then boost the kick and bass so that you kind of start to hear the beat open up again. I know this is not a perfect way of doing it, but at least it will give you a separation between the instruments. The instruments will be a bit softer because you haven't boosted them in level, but then the kick and bass will be a bit louder. Kick and the hi-hats and snares will be a bit louder, and that should hopefully give you a bit of dynamics in your track. What you can also do is dip certain frequencies. A nice frequency to dip is like 200 Hertz. You can dip some of that to get rid of some of the muddiness in the track. Maybe even reduce some of the bass, man. You might end up getting a nice, brighter sounding beat. But the best advice I can give you is to just start sourcing high quality music, okay? If you really want high quality music, pay for the lease in WAV format. But if not, even a high quality MP3 beat is going to sound miles better than a highly compressed version. So yeah, it's not really much you can do. So yeah, man. RY Supreme says, yo Farai, big but small problem. Why do I have to shift my vocals over to blend with the beat? Like my vocals is not in time with the beat, if you get it. Alright, I hear what you're saying. So there are a few reasons why this could be. It could be that you are recording with a plugin on that has high latency. For example, if you were to record with Ozone 9 or something that uses like 50 milliseconds of delay, sometimes FL Studio just can't line everything up while recording, so you end up with the vocal being shifted. So what I would recommend firstly is try to record in a session without any plugins, and then see if that error is still there. If it isn't there, then you know, okay, it's a plugin. But if you are doing this in a blank session, right, and you have your beat, you know what it could also be is that you might not be adding the beat to the mixer track and then recording the vocals in the mixer track. I remember the old FL Studio used to have that problem where it just wasn't, if the track wasn't going to the mixer, it wasn't being accounted for, so that could also cause a latency problem. But it could also just be that you're using a really weird version of FL Studio. So what I would recommend you doing is just upgrading to anything above FL Studio 20.5, because that way you know there won't be any issues. It is a complicated one. Generally, if I have a problem like that, I spend the day trying every single problem out. I test for plugins, I test for if it's the FLP, I test for is it the audio interface, is it the computer. It takes a lot to figure out, but I would just recommend upgrading. So yeah, man. Franklin Winnie says, bruh, you make this whole music thing look like a science. You take the fun out too much. Do this, do that. Oh, alright, I hear what you're saying, man. And that is the interesting thing. I think my channel and many other channels are kind of sitting in between, are we artists or are we engineers? And I think that I lean more on the engineer side, so I am going to be a bit more technical. I mean, I have, you know, a whole studio on doing this, so I am more on the technical side. If you're an artist, it's a lot easier to get with the style, and I know that, you know, certain how to sound like videos are more fun, so I know I clash within that kind of realm. But I prefer it to be more scientific, because there is money to be made in mixing and engineering. There is knowledge to be gained from mixing and engineering, so that's why I've always leaned on that side. You know, I've been able to have a career on this, doing many things, mixing voiceover artists, doing TV shows and that kind of thing. So if you take this mixing thing seriously and you actually enjoy the boring knowledge part of it, there's money to be made. There's self-improvement to be had. So, you know, it's really up to you. There are lots of fun videos out there, but nonetheless, I'm a nerd, so shout out to all the nerds out there, man. And I think that is the last question, so shout out to everyone for dropping comments, man, for tuning in week after week, dropping likes. It is Christmas today, so Merry Christmas. Hopefully you watch the whole video. And yeah, man, just have a good day, chill out, have a great year next year, man. You know, we're all about making that cash and self-improvement, so check out next time. Peace out.